Hey everyone, welcome to Taste Different Game Reviews. What are we reviewing this time? Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. Avatar, not The Last Airbender, but The Frontiers of Pandora, was developed by Massive Entertainment, published by Ubisoft, came out on PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox Series X and S. It is a next-gen only title, came out on December 7th, 2023. It's an action-adventure single player, but it also has multiplayer. So you can play with a friend in more ways than one. Yeah, so this basically follows the Na'vi, on the frontiers of Pandora. They get taken as kids and raised by the RDA, which are the bad guys, the humans. We suck. And you get set, you get free, and you begin your adventures on the lush planet of Pandora and fight back against those evil humans. So we're gonna go around and see what everybody thought of Avatar. Pat, what do you think of Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora?
Somebody say Ubisoft? Because this is an Ubisoft game. Just with big blue aliens. So if you played Far Cry, you played Assassin's Creed, you played Pandora. So Avatar is gorgeous. It looks pretty. It looks awesome. It plays like an Ubisoft game that forces you to not be able to scale buildings. So think Assassin's Creed, but you cannot parkour. Because the parkour in this game is a little bit rough when you're jumping from things and around things. So, this game is pretty, and that's about the nicest thing I could say about it. It is boring, just like a lot of the other Ubisoft games. It's the same concept. Big map, big open world, lots of different things to do outside of the main quest. I do like that you can ran co-op with Nick. I do like that the missions progress together, and then when you hop back into your own game, it lets you skip the missions that you did together as a group, so you don't have to do them again. So that was kind of nice. But it is a regular Ubisoft game. It's Far Cry Primal, just with avatars instead of Rafiki and all the Neanderthals. So to me, it's just an okay game. I got bored with it. The stealth mechanics don't work too well in this game. You are not very strong in the beginning of the game, and so to combat the RDA and creatures, if for that matter, you have to be stealth and look for weak spots and target weak spots. But it's it's a little difficult. It's kind of what I would call proper stealth game mechanics. Like if you kill somebody and somebody stumbles upon it, they just come after you. There is no like, where'd he go? Where'd the guy go? The AI is just pretty much aggressive as soon as you kill somebody. So it's proper stealth mechanics, except for you're not ditching the body and stuff like that. As you progress through the game, you get more abilities to kind of help you, hack the mech so that you can rip the pilots out of them and ships and things like that. But I think the stealth in this game is just a little bit too rough and too boring. And then once you do get into an all-out brawl, the game just calls in massive amounts of mech suits. So it's kind of BS at that point. But it's rough. It's pretty. It's gorgeous, but there's not much meat to this game. It's all looks, no brains. Shane, what'd you think of Avatar? Did you enjoy running around as a blue Na'vi?
I want the humans to win. This game is absolutely what Pat said. It's an Ubisoft game, plain and simple. It's a lot of fluff, a lot of filler. There's no meat with those potatoes. It's boring. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Nothing wrong with the graphics. It's boring. It's really, really sad because I enjoy the movies to a point. Granted, if they're not in 3D, they're not near as good. But the plot line in this is every freaking plot line ever. Bad guys, bad. Good guys, good. Bad guys do bad things. Good guys fight bad guys. I win. That's the game. I mean, you run around with your big blue, hair and body and 8 foot tall, but yet you are a little wimp. Um, your melee attacks are garbage. Yes, you can pump your stats and all that. But you just feel over. No matter how long you play, you feel like you're just underpowered. Everybody else is just over there smacking you around. The first weapon you get is a bow. Spoiler, you get a bow. Go figure. You get a bow and you have to take out a mech. It's like the first thing of combat you get, you take out a mech. So the game doesn't really teach you anything at that point. And you got to figure out, okay, well, how do I take out this mech with my stick and, with the rock on it? So you break through the glass with the first shot or two, and then you pop the guy in the face. And later on, he was like, oh, okay, well, you can hit the thrusters, and then you get the little weaknesses on the monsters, and that's about as exciting as the game gets right there. That's literally all the combat, just figuring out, okay, this does that. Okay, he dies. I just bored. I just got so bored with that game. I hit play and fell asleep, like almost simultaneous. Like, oh, right, here we go. Out. That's the entire game. It's a bore fest. It's not a bad game. It's not broken. It's I had one problem. I had to restart because the checkpoint thing wasn't loading up. But that's it. It ran fine. It's a beautiful game, but it's just so boring. I mean, the world is pretty, but it's dull. Yeah, you come across a few monsters or whatever you want to call the creatures out on the planet, and then you run into the RDA, the humans and whatnot, and there's no excitement when you do it, though. Traversal is garbage. The traversal is really garbage. There are vines you can shoot up or down to get up to higher places, but you have to shoot the vine testy to get the vine to drop down, and then you up the vine. But the vine testes are hard to see through the wildlife, so you got to use your Navi power vision, whatever the hell they call it. And that's kind of worthless too. So I just don't like the game. It's about as mediocre as you can get. James Cameron had nothing to do with the story, because at least then I could get a little above mediocre. So. But what about you, Nick? I know when we fired it up, you were just super excited.
Yes, I'm always super excited for Avatar. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I agree with you guys. I mean, this is developed by Massive Entertainment, which is a division of Ubisoft. So it's not Ubisoft proper, but everybody that works for Ubisoft gets the same, spreadsheet, the same outline for all their games, like follow these 5 steps to make a Ubisoft game, I feel like. And while Massive tries to do their own things, they still follow those 5 steps. So when you get into the game, like when I first started playing the game, I'm like, okay, I'm not a big Avatar fan, so I'll put that out there. I don't really care for the Avatar and that whole story and everything like that. But I started playing the game and I was like, this isn't too bad. The game is gorgeous looking, though. I mean, they did graphically, it looks fantastic. But then, once you get past the first portion of the game, it gets to the title of the game, right? Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. Then that's where the game really starts. That's when you can start playing co-op and everything. And the first thing it tells you is, great, now go out there and take out outposts to increase your stats with the clan. And I'm like, aha, there's the old Ubisoft I know and love. That's when the game says, for me, it was coasting, and then it hit that and it goes, because I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is every other Ubisoft game out there. It's the same formula that they always follow. Like, I don't want to go take out outposts to increase my, just make it I don't know, just don't make it an Avatar game. How about that? But I want to play the RDA. I just want to go down and just rain hell on Pandora and all its inhabitants. But I mean, the things I don't like about this game, there are, like I said, it is pretty. It's not a bad game. It really isn't. but I mean, if you're kind of like us and you've played 1,000 Ubisoft games, it's not any different than what you've played before. If you haven't, then this might be like, wow, this game is awesome. But where have you been for the last 40 years, right? Um, so it's like, if you're not like us who have played just about every Assassin's Creed and everything that Ubisoft has put out there and know that every game seems to follow the same formula, then you're going to be like, okay, this is just like Pat said, it's Far Cry with an Avatar sheen over a theme over it. That's pretty much what it is. Some things I didn't like about this game, especially, was yes, the world is really beautiful. It's very lush, but there isn't a lot going on with it when you traverse from point A to point B. You're kind of just running along, and I mean, later on you do get a dragon bird that you can connect your hair dilly into and fly around with. But one thing I don't like about it is the quests in this game. Like, if you get a quest, like, I understand, I know they try to make it where it's more exploration, but like, it's very this game's quests and even the places that you go to, the different headquarters and trees and various locations are very confusing. I don't know how many times I would get lost, and not lost in a good way, like, oh, look at that over there. It was lost as like, where in the hell am I? Everything is green. That tree looks like the other tree that I was looking at. Is that waterfall new, or is that the waterfall I passed 20 minutes ago? I'm not 100% sure. And then you look at your map and you're like, okay, I've clearly made it further, but it's just very, I don't know. You can put markers on the objectives you want to go to and follow that marker. But when me and Pat played, it was fine playing co-op. At least that gives you something to do. But when we hit the marker to go to our destination, which was like, I don't know, it was quite a ways away. It was really just us going from point A to point B and just running the entire, because we haven't gotten our dragon birds yet. So it was just running the entire way and really just trying to traverse, really trying to prevent ourselves from dying from fall damage as we made our way to where we were going. And there was only, like, I think 2 things that really caught our eye. There was a cave that we came across, and then an outpost that you could turn back on. You can use your I don't know, your scanner or whatever to scan electronics and turn the base back on, which is just another one of those clan favor things that you can do. So, I don't know. It's just, again, I think there's probably going to be a lot of people that enjoy this game, but if you enjoy that Ubisoft formula, that same mixture of Ubisoftness, and you're a big fan of Avatar, I think you'll probably enjoy that. If you're kind of tired of what Ubisoft does most of the time, then you're probably not going to enjoy it. Again, for me, I'm tired of what Ubisoft's done, and I'm not a fan of Avatar. So, needless to say, I wasn't looking forward to this game at all. If we weren't reviewing it, I would have never bought it to begin with. So that's just me. But besides
Sparse
that,
December. That's why we're playing it.
yeah, pretty much. Like, it would have been a pass for me. But besides that, if you take the Avatar and the Ubisoftness out of it, the rest of the stuff is, like I said, the game is gorgeous. I mean, it's a really nice looking game. Like, the planet and everything looks beautiful in this game. I just don't like some of the stuff they've done, like even collecting. I'll throw this out here before the rest of you guys. When you collect stuff, it's like you don't just pick stuff up. You want to grab that mushroom, well, you gotta like yank it one way, and you gotta pull, but don't pull too hard, but don't pull too soft. And it's like, okay, that's fine, because the game gives you like a little key to show you how to do it. But then the game decides, hey, remember that key where I showed you like which direction and how hard you're pulling? Well, we're going to get rid of that now. And now you have no clue. So even on stuff that you've never picked up before, you get there and it's like your avatar goes and grabs it, and you're like, how do I pull this out? I don't know. I'm just going to squeeze the shit out of it until I figure it out. I've squished many of fruits or whatever the hell, nut sacks off the trees, pop those before trying to pull them out because I don't know how to do it. So that's really annoying. Anyway, Jane?
Moral of the story: don't take Nick to the farm. Oh no, what Nick said is perversely correct. It's it is the typical, like, Pat was saying, it's the typical Ubisoft formula. Like Nick said, the 5-step program, they followed it to a T. They even added a few T's with the farming, cultivating, squeeze the shit out of the plant game that they gave you, that Nick enjoys so well. He was hoping that was multiplayer. No, it breaks my heart because I really wanted this game to be good. It's a beautiful game. I think they should have done something that Ubisoft is not known to do, but they have great storytellers. And that's just give you a path from here to here, story, narrative, action. There you go. That's it. Not go over here and over here and over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here. It's the typical filler that Ubisoft is painfully known for. And that's why I just can't stand Ubisoft games anymore. Used to love them. Now I hate them. But hey, I did get to run around with big blue ass cheeks.
Yeah. The gathering, the harvesting thing and the harvesting system in this game is annoying because to get pristine, perfect harvesting, you have to harvest the material in the correct weather, the correct time of day, and the correct way, as Nick said. Like, the game gives you the tutorial in the beginning about how to harvest, plants. And then it's like, okay, we're showing you this little mini map on how you have to pull the trigger and move the thumbstick. But then we're going to take it away from you. This is just a tutorial. And I'm like, it's the dumbest thing ever. So you may grab the material at the right time of day and at the right weather, but then you ruin it because you squeeze it too hard, as Nick said, or you pull it too hard the wrong way, and next thing you know, your fruit's ruined. So I find that very a pain in the butt because it's like, I just need to get this material so I can craft new armor or new weapon or something. And now I'm having to rest at the campfire 10, 20 times to get the perfect weather pattern to get the item that I need in a pristine, correct weather. And it's annoying. It is the most annoying. And then when you're hunting creatures, it's even worse. Like, if you shoot the creature and it doesn't die, and it dies painfully, you ruin the materials. If you shoot the creature with a gun, the materials are ruined. So you have to shoot it with a bow and in the weak spot, and it has to pretty much die like almost immediately, or you have to put it out of its misery when it goes down like quick in the weak spot, or else you've ruined the materials. To me, that's overkill because this game is just not. It's not holding my attention long enough to get in on needing to get the best of the best. I'm just like, yeah, get me on to where I get my mount. Okay, let's finish beelining this quest because I'm done with this game. It's a typical Ubisoft game. I know that it's not Ubisoft Studio, but they are owned by Ubisoft, as Nick had mentioned. But it's Ubisoft, if anything. It's like, okay, as like Nick said, the title screen pops up and you've reached the correct place you're supposed to be at, and now the game opens up into this hot, giant vomit of a map. Go here, go do this. So not to mention all the hidden stuff. You're running through there and your little radar pops up with the hazy bit and start finding the Navi totems, the plants to give you extra health and stamina, and then the ones that give you the skill points so that you can put into all your different abilities, like their skill trees. But in my opinion, the skill trees are extremely boring. I was looking at the skill tree and it took me like 10, 15 minutes to figure out which one I actually wanted to put points into because they all kind of sucked. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do Hunter so I can get better stealth. And I put a bunch of points into the Hunter one and got all the stealth, but it didn't seem to matter because one of the stealth abilities was you could run and creatures ignore you like you're not there, but that didn't really matter. Like, creatures would just run away even though I'm running. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I have that ability to where even though I'm running, they're not supposed to be able to see me unless I'm like right in front of their face, right? If I run behind a creature and I'm like, 20 yards away from it and behind out of its vision, I'm running, they're like startled and run away. And I'm like, the ability says they're not supposed to be able to hear me even when running. So right now, the skill tree is not working for me. But like I said, the harvesting mechanics are annoying. The skill tree is pretty boring. The weapons are kind of just meh. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I wish that I just give me a gun and let me go at it, because that's what ends
Give
up
me a
happening, right?
human.
I go into the game in the intention of stealth killing all the people around it, right? I'm like, okay, let me get rid of all the little guys before I go after that mech, because the mech almost always takes more than one hit. So my tactic with the mech typically is I'll kill the little guys and I'll go in and I'll hack the mech and then rip the guy out of the mech, right? But it never fails. I'll shoot one of the guys and he dies, and another guy just walks upon his body and he's like, we're not alone. And then all of a sudden they just see me and I'm like, I am like in the bushes, like a mile away. And then they start running after me. And next thing you know, it's like reinforcements incoming. And I'm like, all right, well, this is annoying. So it's highly annoying. Stealth is annoying. Harvesting is annoying. It's an annoying game. It's a beautifully annoying game. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous game. But even me as a graphics snob, that's not going to hold my attention if the gameplay's not there.
I put my skill points into the food because this game has a stupid mechanic where you have to eat.
Or your stamina doesn't regen and your health doesn't regen?
Yeah. So food gives you buffs to your character, and that's cool and all. But then you're like walking around and you're like, why is things flashing red? And you're like, oh, it's because I haven't eaten. It's like, why put a hunger meter? This isn't a survival game. I'm not like chopping down trees for wood lumber and building a house here. Like, don't put a food mechanic into the game. It's unnecessary. If you want to say eat food for buffs, cool. I'm down with that. Lots of games do that. But they don't also tie it to a meter that you have to constantly fill, or your stamina and health loses progression. So I put my stats, my skill points into allowing that food buff and the hunger meter to take longer to dissipate. That's where all my skill points went into.
Mine went into hunting and it was pointless. So the game is just dull. I mean, it's Avatar, the farming simulator. And Pat, just because you can run stealth doesn't mean they're not going to notice an 8-foot tall blue schlong flapping through the forest.
Hey, that skill tree said that nobody could see me or it. So
that skill tree lies. I'm going to notice that thing running through the forest.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's boring. And now that this review is over, I'm about to recoup some space on my Xbox.
Already,
and then I'll cry over the $70 wasted or whatever that I wasted on this game.
Like a tripod went through the forest. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not everybody's going to dislike the game. I think a lot of people are probably going to enjoy it, but for us, it just didn't hit the mark. I mean, Ubisoft, it's been pretty obvious with them and typical for their games, and it's just been there, done that feeling, right? And it's a type of game that could use a break for quite a few years. I mean, shoot, Ubisoft, you just came out with an Assassin's Creed. Did you need another one so fast? You know what they should have done with Avatar? I think it would have been cool. Like I said, I'm not big into the Avatar like whole theme and everything, but an RTS, like where you have the Na'vi and the RDA, and it's like a real-time strategy game, like StarCraft, Command & Conquer, that type of thing, where you could build bases and fight each other. That would have been cool. Something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe
So the Avatar would have different creatures instead of equipment. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah. And then you could choose the RDA where you could have mechs and the planes.
Or you could just make a version where it's a little more streamlined of this type, but it's more streamlined. You play as a human and your bullets are just insta kills on the blue people. Just
on the blue people. On the blue.
They are bigger than you. I think it'd take more than one bullet.
Well, that's why you get insta kill.
Yeah, they're like, what?
But if I have to use 8 bullets, that's fine too. Yeah, they're like 8 foot.
They're like twice the size of a human.
They gotta be taller than that because in the game,
they're like twice the size of a human. When you see them, throw the humans around.
Foot tall.
Yeah,
at least 10 foot tall.
I mean, like I said, the people that are fans of Avatar, and if you like the Far Cry series of games, I think you're gonna like this. I just am. think I've hit my weird peak of open world action adventure game. I'm like, I want a good story. I want something. I don't know. To me, it's just a tried and true Ubisoft Far Cry method, and I'm like, I don't want that. I played that. So for me, this game is, and I'm not. It's not a bad game. Like I'm not running anything that just like I'm like, oh, this is a sucky game. It's just it's boring and repetitive, and that's what Ubisoft has turned into. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Let's add a new skin to this and do it again. But there are people who will love this game. You know, it is what it is. But if you like Far Cry and you like Avatar, this game's probably right up your alley. If you're tired of the Ubisoft open world genre, then this game's probably just going to piss you off, or you're just going to be like bored with it. So I'm bored with it. That's really what it is. I think the stealth mechanics don't work, so I'm a little irritated at that. But to me, overall, I'm just bored with it. I don't want to run around, disrupt another oil field or disrupt another RDA base to clean up the environment and get a percentage on my tracker of clean the earth. You know, this is eco warriors. You know, the blue people, eco warriors, clean up Pandora so that get rid of the RDA, clean up the world. I'm like, I'm not Captain Planet here. I just want to play a video game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's boring. If you're an Avatar fan, you may like it. I think even they Ubisoft times 3 on this thing with all the extra crap that that you just didn't need. The farming, pulling your mushroom out, without breaking it. That's something everybody wanted in this game. It's like, oh my God, can I pull out that freaking mushroom? No, I can't. Well, shit. Shoot. Pardon my language. So, nope. This game is unworthy of a sequel, and I'm bored. But already installed. So.
I will say this video game hit me like the movie hit me, the first movie. I remember seeing the first movie in theaters going, oh, this is pretty. This is awesome. But I saw it in 3D. I bought the movie on Blu-ray or DVD back in the day, and I brought it home, and I'm like, what is this trash? I was awestruck by its gorgeous, beautiful world, but the story was just boring. And that's the same thing that happened with this game. It was a gorgeous looking game, and I spent the tutorial and all that stuff walking around like this, looking at everything. And then when I started getting into where it's like, go here, go do that, go do this, go do that, I'm like, I'm bored. Ubisoft, you did it again. So I think that's how the game went for me. It was like, ooh, pretty shiny. Oh, nothing to hold it up.
Yeah, I agree. I was the same way with it. Exactly the same way. Like the game is pretty and everything. And I thought the same thing with the first Avatar movie too. I loved it in the theaters in 3D. It was amazing. And then I did the same thing you did. I watched it at home on my 2D TV, right? Not in 3D. And I was like, man, this movie sucks. Like, when it was great in the movie theater, what happened? And so, after that point, I was like, I don't really care for that. Plus, I think, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I think it's one thing too that maybe hurts Avatar, and I don't know if it does or not, but like waiting too long, right? It was a long time between the first movie, and then the second movie that just came out here not too long ago, and now a game, and it's like, I don't know. I think the whole, for me, it feels like the whole Avatar like newness and people excited for it kind of died out whenever the first Avatar came and went, and then like years and years later, it comes out with the second one, which I don't know how well they did. I know James Cameron's making like 100 billion of them until he dies, but I don't know. I think an RTS would be better. Make an RTS with Avatar. I think that would be cool. Do like RDA versus Avatars or versus Navi. The Navi versus the Avatars, right? Because those are the people in the pods. So Sigourney Weavers versus the Navi versus the RDA. Those three, right? Make some story up where the pod people aren't happy with the Navi or the RDA. They're trying to start their own civilization of pod and Navi. Because if that really happened in real life, there would be a division of Navi, the pod people with the Navi avatar suits, and then the RDA, which are the non-believers, right? That would be just like real life. So you could definitely create it in an RTS game.
You just want to see a big old blue Sigourney Weaver, and I'm into that. I'm into that. It's cool.
Yeah, but I think
Well,
that
you
cool.
saw one in both of them, the first one and the second one. So
yeah. There you go. But I agree. I think people that like Avatar, like the Far Cry formula, are not tired of that, will probably enjoy this game. The people that are tired of that or not big into Avatar will probably find this game not very interesting. So, just depends on who you are, right? Do you guys got anything else you want to say about this game?
Nope. I'm done. I'm spent.
Okay. Well, let us know down in the comments below. Have you played this game? What do you think? Do you like the avatars? Let us know down in there, the whole avatar thing. Is that your thing? You up with the avatars? Let us know down in the comments below. And if you played this game, and would you like to see them do more with the Avatar franchise, or as far as games go, not movies, but just as far as games go, and if so, what would you like to see them do with it? I mean, there's more than just the RTS genre that I was talking about. They could do other things with it. I don't know, bowling with Avatar, maybe like a Wii Sports type thing, but you're Navi instead. Who knows? Let us know down in the comments below. But other than that, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Do us a favor, help us out, help the Navi clean the planet by hitting subscribe. Get rid of them nasty RDA. They're trying to take your subscriptions away. So hit subscribe today. Hit the bell notification to stay updated with new videos that we do all the time, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.